the Embassy Manila and head of administration and financial administration. Very important man that says money goes through him. And you know, Mr. Soberano.
It's very popular here.
I know,
Family.
I learned about it, I'm learning more, and I'm already I can say that I at the embassy am really proud to have
Good
Franco
choice.
as our man here and as the honorary consul. So as said, Finland closed the embassy in Manila in 2012 and we reopened in September 2012. And there are three motivations why we came back to the embassy. First and foremost is business facilitation. What we call in Finland is Team Finland work. Like all the government-funded Finnish organizations with partners here, like Mr. Franco. So we work to facilitate the entry of Finnish business into the Finnish market. And I will talk about the sectors that we think that we have expertise in Finland and what our offering is. So the business facilitation is the first, or was the first motivation why we came back with the embassy. Second is immigration and consular services. We issue residence permits and visas at the embassy, and there's a growing stream of Filipino professionals coming to Finland to work there. As you know, your national schools, many other countries as well, but Finland as well, nurses and other professionals, and what we foresee that probably and hopefully in the future, high-level expertise, IT experts, etc. as well. And thirdly, the third reason was obviously the geopolitical and geoeconomic big picture. This region is extremely intriguing for a foreign observer like me to be here and to follow every day what is going on in the superpower rivalry.
Wow, intriguing.
Intriguing, that's the word that I use. Intriguing and interesting. And as Finland is a member of the European Union, so what I want to strongly express in the Philippines is that EU wants to be a strong local actor in the region as well. The EU has an Indo-Pacific strategy since last year, which means that we from the EU side and from Finland, we want to be key partners with the region and with the Philippines on many different issues that we can discuss here. And on this geopolitical situation, on that point, obviously, I want to mention and raise the Russian aggression against Ukraine. There have been expressions around the world that it's a European issue, but it's not. It's a global issue because the Russian aggression against Ukraine is a severe and grave breach of international law and United Nations Charter, including the latest steps that the Russian Federation has recently taken. So I want to raise it, and at the same time, the issue, and at the same time, I want to express my appreciation to the previous Philippine administration and to this administration for the reason that they joined most of the United Nations membership condemning the Russian aggression, strongly condemning the Russian aggression, and obviously from the perspective of Finland and the EU, we hope that the Philippines and the government of the Philippines will continue to condemn the aggression, because as I said, it's a global multilateral issue. So these were the reasons why we came back with the embassy. Secondly, now we are happy to be able to officially inaugurate a honorary consulate here in Cebu City, Visayas. And you probably know what honorary consulates and consuls do. And here Mr. Nyqvist can then later on step in and explain more. Basically, honorary consulates are here to start with to help Finnish nationals or other nationals who permanently live in Finland who end up in trouble here. Honorary consul can do a limited number of notary acts, not too many, but some of them. Usually honorary consulates, they assist the embassy in organizing elections. When we have elections in Finland, there are polling stations at the honorary consulates. And finally, obviously, the big part of the job, as we see from the embassy side, is to promote Finland, to promote the brand of Finland, and promote Finnish business interests here through the contacts that the honorary consul has, and to make Finnish expertise known in the region. But as I said, Mr. Nyqvist, who is the consul and a long experience in the foreign service, he can explain more about that. finally, I want to seriously, honestly, straightforwardly praise Mr. Jose Franco Soberano as our Honorary Consul here. I'm really glad, and I always thought hopefully you notice that I'm a hopefully easy to approach guy as an ambassador as well, but I start from the personal side because that's the important thing. I really appreciate the personality of Franco, what he has shown from the very first meeting that we had in last year, and he has I think he has the right spirit, right approach as a personality to this task of being our honorary consul. And obviously from the professional side, he's true professional in business, extremely well connected, like the whole of his family, and we are really honored and happy and glad to have him on board. And I thank you for taking on this task because, as you know, there is no direct compensation for this. This is something that these gentlemen or ladies, they do because they want to do from their heart.
It's a work of love.
Yeah, I would say that. Maybe I stopped here. It was longer than I thought, but I mean, that's the background why the embassy came back, what honorary consulates are all about, and our happiness to have.
I have a question. Do you intend to link with the academe, like scholarship programs for educators and students? Most of the consulates do that here in Cebu. Do you have any plan for that aside from the business aspect of the linkage that you have with Cebu?
Maybe I'll tell a bit about the business sectors that we, from the embassy side, we think that we have a good offering from Finland. Education is one of them. To start with your question, to the point, at the moment we do not have a Finnish-Philippine scholarship program, but you know that the EU, they have the Erasmus scholarship program, and we are member of the EU, so we gladly promote the Erasmus program, and I can tell from the 2 years experience here, when there are Philippine students going as Erasmus students to Finland, they are very high level students. So the EU mechanism is working fine. Okay, the business sectors that we think that we need to push here from the Finnish side is education is one. On a policy level, I've requested a meeting with the Vice President and Education Secretary Sara, and she's been talking about education and Finnish education before. And in addition to the policy dialogue, we have a lot of education products, not only digital education, which one might think that that's the only product, but like teacher education, we have concepts that we want to provide here as well through the Finnish universities, for example. Then digitalization, that's a big thing here in many respects. E-governance, renewable energy. There are a Swedish company called Wärtsilä, which has been present in the Philippine market for decades. Now they are active in increasing the share of renewable energy in the Philippine energy mix, and they are in energy storage and batteries, which is the thing of the future in energy policy. Circular economy, I mentioned renewable energy, smart city development, and that is something that I think Mr. Franco obviously is involved in through his business. I mean, smart city people, and we approach from a Finnish perspective, our smart city concept is based on well-being of humans. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. Now that, as I say, now that the skies are increasingly open, I would imagine that there will be an increasing flow of Finnish tourists coming to the Philippines. In my mind, the Philippines, to a large extent, is still like an uncharted territory for Finns as a tourist destination, which is good, which means that we want to explore. We come from the north and we want to explore what is interesting here. So I would imagine that there will be increasing Finns coming here. And vice versa, obviously, we would gladly welcome Filipino tourists to Lapland. We were talking earlier on, Lapland, Santa Claus comes from Finland. Please remember, from Finland. If somebody sells something else,
so December,
you deny.
December is your month because Santa Claus will be coming to town.
Exactly. I mean, that's one thing, winter wonderland in Finland, but then the summer in Finland, archipelago, it's extremely beautiful. It's so beautiful. And the nature, that is, we have a special relationship to nature in Finland. I miss the nature here, and if I've been 1 month in Manila without getting out, I have to go out and walk and hike a bit. So if you go to Finland, you will experience the wilderness and emptiness and nature.
Wow, emptiness.
Emptiness, wilderness, nature. Yeah.
Emptiness, wilderness, and nature.
Now, what dialects please we might have? What kind of connections?
Right, sure. I just want to start by saying that Ambassador's already thanking me, but I'm really in my first few weeks on the job, and I'm gonna ask him to thank me later after I prove to him that I earned this appointment. But really, it's a very big honor. I had the pleasure of going to Finland a few months ago, and if you Google about Finland, it's actually ranked the happiest country in the world for the last 5 years because it's just really a well-run country with high transparency, good access to social services, and I see it in how honest and sincere their diplomatic leaders are, like Ambassador JB, as I fondly, he likes to be called Ambassador JB, and of course with Herbert. So I think there's a lot of values I share with the Finnish people, and that's why I think I was also appointed. But I guess also there's a lot of potential. Finland, as I said, not just one of the happiest countries in the world, but one of the most economically vibrant and stable countries. So right now, when it comes to smart building technology, we know that one of the largest elevator companies in the world, Kuan, is Finnish, and they're one of the leading suppliers here in the country. And it's smart technology because people movement, time is essential, but aside from people movement, it's also green technology. What will have less harmful impact on the environment now with the technology we build. Interestingly, later on, there's actually a Finnish company that has been in the Philippines for a long time in Cebu, Sona manufacturer.
Sona.
Yes, we'll be visiting, and I believe they also incorporate a lot of good manufacturing process that respect the environment, which we'll be visiting later. But I believe smart technology and smart cities are very important because, as you know, places like Cebu and Cebu Landmasters is in the building industry, and we're in not just Cebu, we're in Davao, Cagayan, Bacolod, Iloilo, Bohol, and it's very important that we build responsibly because overdevelopment or development without good standards is harmful for all of us. So I'd like to really link us Cebuanos with experts in that field, to guide not just the private sector but also the public sector. And there's you might have covered also. There's a very good circular economy company that helps in collecting pollution in our seas, who helped with the city government giving a vessel to collect plastic bottles in the ocean. So I'd like to link us more with these Finnish companies who really want to make a good difference in the world. It's not just business, but it's the what's beneficial to people, to well-being. And I have to admit that I still have to learn more about it. But I have two good coaches from Finland who will definitely open doors to us Cebuanos here.
He got it already. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And I continue on the sustainability that Mr. Franco brought up. The sustainability and sustainable development goals, SDGs, those are in the center of the government policy of Finland. We have a long tradition of having a National Commission of Sustainable Development over 30 years, always led by the Prime Minister, which means that sustainability, economically, socially, and environmentally sustainable development is being at least in the very core of Finnish policy making, and we feel that it's important. That is something that I just said. And on that note, I just want to praise again Franco because it's a big business, but what they are involved in, as you rightly know, certainly know, in terms of type of social housing as well, and when there are calamities in this country, and then unfortunately you have a lot of them. As you know, his company has been involved in recreating and reconstructing houses for victims. And this is exactly the social kind of sustainability that is needed all over the world and in this country. So I praise Franco and his company on the approach that they have to this on JP, you know, I'm called JP Juha because at many of the embassies that I've been posted there has been another Juha. So we have to differentiate within the embassy, so that's why I picked up JP like Juha. And internally in the embassy, I'm called JP usually. You can call me JP. So the JP comes from that. I get you chairs. You know,
Oh yes, yes, yes.
It's okay.
There's a Finnish Philippine society and they try to keep track on the number, but that's the kind of figure that I have. Actually, when we last time that we lived in Finland and our kids went to school there, so my oldest, our daughter, she had a Filipino friend and her parents had come to Finland like 12 years ago, and the mother was working as a nurse and the father was, I don't remember what he was doing, very nice people. So they are part of the Finnish society and they are highly respected and highly appreciated. Very good colleagues.
When I went to Helsinki earlier this year, I met Filipina work at the hotel. So and she was Bisaya. So instead of having breakfast, we just talked 1 hour about.
Really?
Not
Nice,
Cebu.
yeah.
We Filipinos really.
Not from Cebu
Not from
or
Cebu. I think
Luzon?
she was from Bisaya. I think she was from Dumaguete.
Okay.
So because the Filipinos saw me, so I got more food than I needed.
There you go.
Filipinos, we take care of each other abroad, and
That's good.
And yeah, I guess to be very another input is I think there's a lot of opportunity for more Cebuanos to definitely visit Finland. I think as you said, I like how Ambassador talks about it's two-way. We want to promote Finland here, but of course we'd like to promote Cebu or our beautiful country abroad. I think that's why they reopened the embassy here to create that stronger connection again for both ways. Even my family would like to at least see more of the beautiful countryside of Finland. As you know, we don't have snow here, and probably Finland has more snow year-round.
Not year-round, year-round.
Wow.
8 months of the year, 7 months. So yeah, I think there are more connections also. As you know, with our new airport here, Ambassador, we have probably the nicest airport in the country here with the Mactan terminal, and we have more foreign airlines with direct connections, connect us to Europe very easily, and that works both ways for Cebu and for the Philippines and Finland.
Ladies, do you want to have a chair?
Oh, please,
It's okay,
Ambassador
it's
is insisting that. Okay.
Finland government in order for not only for better relationship but for continuous support of our projects and to help also upbuild the lives of our Cebuanos here.
Thank you for the question. You know, when I heard about this appointment, I started learning more about Finland, and one of the reasons that make them a very happy country is their generosity. So they're known to be a very generous country, generous to one another, very helpful, and it aligns very well with my family's values that were very charitable here in Cebu. I believe it's not really resources per se, but the time and expertise that they can lend, right? Generosity in, like example, I'm sure we can find resource speakers or experts to help our LGUs in terms of green, sustainable cities. Very important. And it's not just expertise, but really seeing it through. And I think me as Honorary Consul who is present here, if it's a field I'm very familiar with, I will see it through and do my best to help, right? And as you know, my company, Cebu Landmasters, has been involved in a lot of local development for the masses. We're the first private company to donate a tenement condominium for the poor here, and we're doing 2 more. 1 more in Mandaue, and there's 1 more in Talisay. So that is our, I would say, our advocacy, because benefits of construction should reach all, right? The same way, I'm very excited that my linkage with the Finnish ambassador and the embassy, there are a lot of expertise that they will share when the time comes in the future. And they mentioned about what these fields are. you've all heard, right? What was your first phone when you were young? What was the first phone that you had?
Yeah.
Nokia, right? That's a Finnish company. They're still around.
Yeah.
But Finnish are really known for tech. And we need to evolve here as a evolved country. So I'm excited that, because without an honorary consulate like me, there is no local person that will provide a link. So I'm like a little bridge to make sure it's accessible. And actually, ambassador will also be going to Davao, because a Davao consul was also appointed to make a link to Mindanao.
But this is the
Yeah.
first time that you appointed, or you opened a consulate office.
Honorary Consul, yes.
Cebu?
Yeah, that's true.
So Cebu first, followed by Davao.
Java.
That's good.
No, but what Mr. Franco said, that's the spirit. I mean, we are glad to share and have dialogue on different issues at the LGU level as well, because as we know, in any country like Finland as well, action takes place at the local level. What we talk about things that in Manila, that's the policy level, and that's important, that's the framework, but things take place and impact takes place at the local level, so that's very important.
We also hope in the near future, some big companies from Finland would invest here in Cebu in the coming years.
That's the thing, and now that the world, that the country is more open, and I have to mention the new administration, they have, as a foreign observer, I see that there are good ideas about economic policy, and they have a very experienced economic team on the cabinet, so it looks good. The GDP estimates are great for this year and for next year in the regional comparison as well. So, and I can tell from experience, at the end of August, we had ambassadors meeting in Finland, all the Finnish ambassadors around the world gathered there. And after that, we had these business meetings with potential prospective Finnish businessmen with interest in Southeast Asia and the Philippines. And there's an increasing interest from the Finnish business side to have another look at the Philippine market now after the pandemic from different sectors. So I hope so, but it's here I want to underline that our job from the embassy side is to facilitate, but it's up to the businesses themselves to do their homework, make the connections where we help and where Mr. Franco helps, and then make the decision. But Bastila has been mentioned in energy. Kuan is making elevators, escalators, other web equipment like that. That has been mentioned. And Nokia has been mentioned. Nokia used to produce handsets, but now Nokia is involved in mobile network here, and they have technologies, digital, artificial intelligence, expertise, what they call here as elsewhere the fourth industrial revolution, to jumpstart and push the Philippine manufacturing sector to go on forward the value chain, to add value in this country in manufacturing. And that is what we discussed yesterday with Secretary Pascula as well. So in our own way, we have Finnish companies, big ones and the smaller ones, who we want to be part of the recovery and development of the Philippine economy in partnership spirit.
You're right.
Both making benefits.
Manufacturing would be a very good linkage with Cebu.
Yes, exactly. That's what I understand. And now we are, as Mr. Franco said, he knows the scenery here, and now we start to make the connections in our minds and what is needed and what would be the expertise in Finland. Now the story starts again, hopefully strongly.
More opportunity.